Hey, it's Dwayne, and this is episode 26 of Trading with G, teaching kids and adults about money. What we do is we teach biblical principles through money. And
we have a Facebook group called Trading with G.
We have a Facebook group for you to follow any moves we make in between episodes. It's called Trading with G. There's a link in the description of this video. But this episode is called what, Gerrick?
This episode is called Bottom Up.
Bottoms Up. Why is it called Bottoms Up?
Because
the
trade market, it was down a lot, but it came up.
Because this week's been a really good week.
Yep.
We saw a really big rally that we think is going to continue next week. And we're going to talk about that. You know, we had an episode called Take Off or Tailspin. We didn't know what we were going to do, take off or tailspin, and we tailspinned. And last week's episode was called Tailspin It Is. But how quickly things can change in a week. Because we went from tailspin it is to bottoms up. So I want to welcome you all who are new here. What we did was we started Gerrick out
with $100.
With $100 in his CashApp account. Yes, you can use CashApp to trade stocks if you live in the United States. If you're outside the United States, Google it. There's a lot of applications that you can use, a lot of different applications in different countries. I know in Canada, they have Wealth Simple. In Europe, I believe they have something called Free Trade. They also have Revolut. There's Robinhood, there's Webull. So there's applications. You may even already have an application on your phone that you can use to trade stocks and you don't even know it. So you have to Google what applications you can use if you're outside of the country. But if you're in the US, you can use CashApp and you can trade along with us. So, Gerrick, before we get started, we need to remind them to do what? And subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you guys do that. And if you'll do us a favor, share our videos out. We would so greatly appreciate it. You know, we're fairly new doing these videos and not a lot of people know about us yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you let people know about us and share our videos out, maybe share them on social media, it just lets the world know, hey, there's some good guys that are doing some good things, and it lets the world know that we exist. So we would really appreciate you. With that, Gerrick, what do you say we get into it? Are you ready to get into it?
Yes.
All right, let's go trade. So if you're trading on CashApp along with us, you're going to open up CashApp. You're going to see this green screen. It should look fairly familiar to you if you're aware of CashApp. But when you open CashApp, you're going to see this green screen. And in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see
your dollar amount.
A dollar amount. Gerrick says $22. That's what's in his available balance. He actually has a lot more than that, but he has a lot in the market and he has some on buy orders.
So you're going to click that.
You're going to click that dollar amount. Now,
it could be a bank or house.
Correct. So if they don't have any money in their CashApp
you
right
still
now,
press it.
You're going to see like a bank or a house looking icon, and you're going to click that in the lower left-hand corner.
And you're
going to come to this screen.
Yeah.
Right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to click on what, Gerrick?
Stocks.
You're going to click on stocks.
But if you're brand new,
your screen is going to look like this.
So
until you buy your first stock.
So if you want to buy stock, like you could buy
Ford?
Yeah, you could buy Ford.
So whatever stock you're buying, you just type it in the search. There it is.
There it is. Then you can come over here, press 5, and just buy it, change order type.
It's that easy.
Uh-huh.
You just push buttons. There's a buy and a sell button. Can't be any easier than that. And you can follow along with us as well. But once you buy your first stock, your screen is going to look much like ours. You're going to see a chart and you're going to see a list of all your stocks and their performance, right?
Mhm.
And if we look at our chart this past week, Gerrick, look at what it's done. Look how much we're up over the week.
We're
We're up 11.62% this week.
how good this week is.
So while last week was called Tailspin It Is, this week is definitely called Bottoms Up.
UAW has Tesla Toyota is in its side after contract wins at Detroit automakers.
Yep. The UAW, the United Auto Workers Associate, or Workers Union, I should say.
But Ford credit rating upgrade to boost demand for U.S.
investment grade bonds. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of positive news, right? The UAE, the United Auto Workers Union, they came to an agreement with the automakers. That's a very good thing. They're getting back to work. And the rally is on, right? So if we look at our performance overall, of course, we came out of the gate, we shot up, we made a good amount of money, and we utilized those profits on the way down that we closed out. The trades we closed for profits, we utilized them on the way down, and we knew that we were going into the valley. Well, now it looks like we may have found the bottom, right? There's a little resistance right here. But if we can break through this resistance right here, our next resistance point is probably going to be right about right here, if you see that, and then on up here. So, there's no telling how high this rally will go, but it certainly looks positive, and I think we're going to go quite a bit higher. I think, this truly is the bottom for right now, and that's why we call it bottoms up, right? So we're doing really well. We're still down on the month, 4.5%, but on the week, we're up over 11.5%. We even closed one for profit this week, Gerrick, right?
All right, and I'll tell you which one it was.
We canceled our sell order for Roblox, and we went ahead and we sold it early.
Yeah, we sold it all.
And we posted it in our Facebook group. So if you want to follow the moves that we make during the week, join our Facebook group. It's called Trading with G. And there is a link in the description of this video where you can join that group. But if we look at Roblox, we made over 18% on this trade. We bought it a few times. It looks like we bought it twice back in August for $9 increments. So we had $18 in it. We sold it for $21.32, and we made over 18%. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but when you're compounding, believe it or not, it adds up very quickly. And as your account grows and your trade size increases, keep in mind your profits increase too, right? We had $1,000 in that trade, 18% would have been $180. If we had $10,000 in that trade, 18% would have been $1,800. So keep that in mind. We're just managing our ride. We're adding to our account as we go. Gerrick started out with $100, and he gets $10 added each week for doing your what?
Chores.
For doing his chores. He gets $10 added every single week, and he's trading his allowance and turning it into a fortune. So while it may not seem like much right now, when we look back here in a few years, I think you're going to be amazed at where we came from. So over 18% in Roblox, nothing to shake a stick at. That was a really good profit, a really good gain. Give me a high five on that one. All right. Now, if you're new, we're going to discuss a couple of stocks today. But if you're new and you want to jump in where we're at and you say, hey, this is pretty cool. I want to trade along with those fellas. What you need to do is, if you're wanting to utilize the same risk management strategy as we have, what you would do is you would take whatever your starting amount is, and you would take 9%, and you would put 9% in each of the first 5 stocks. So if you have $100, it would be $9. You would buy $9 worth of each of the first 5 stocks. If you have $1,000, 9% would be $90. If you have $10,000, 9% would be $900. But whatever your starting amount is, 9% in each of the first 5 stocks. So the first 5 that we have is Peloton, Virgin Galactic, Vizio, Zoom Video Communications, and Broadcom. Okay. So if you put 9% in each of the 5, you will utilize 45% of your balance, and you'll have 55% in cash that is available to buy more as the market goes down. Now, after the first 5, the other 55% that you have, you're going to take 9% of that balance, and you're going to buy the next one, which is Ford Motor Company. And after that, the other stocks on here, they're no longer on the board for CashApp. So don't worry about 270, Purple, UPower, or WeWorth. Why are they not on the board with CashApp? Nothing's wrong necessarily with those stocks. It's just that CashApp has some strict volume requirements. So from time to time, they will remove stocks from the board. They'll remove stocks and make them unavailable to purchase on CashApp. Although, there's other brokers out there where people are buying these stocks on. So we can sell those stocks when they get to our level that we want to sell them at, but we can no longer buy any more of them. So don't worry about those last 4 on the list. Just the first 6, Peloton, Virgin Galactic, Vizio, Zoom, and Broadcom, 9% of your starting balance in each one. And then on Ford, whatever you have left over, your other 55%, take 9% of that, and you would buy Ford if you're wanting to utilize the same risk management strategy that we are using, right? Mm-hmm. In addition to that, we have some buy orders and sell orders after you buy those stocks. So you'll want to write these down. I want to tell you what they are. Now, let me explain. When we buy a stock, we buy it in equal increments on the way down. So if 9% of our balance is $9, we would buy it in $9 increments as it comes to our various buy points. If we bought it with $13, we would buy it in $13 increments. If we bought it with $900, we would buy it in $900 increments. So the first buy order we have is for Ford, right? We're going to buy more Ford if the price hits what, Gerrick?
We're going to buy more Ford if the price hits $7.53.
$7.53. And we're going to buy $13 worth. Why? Because at the time we entered Ford, 9% of Gerrick's available balance was $13. So we're buying this in $13 increments. So we have a buy set to buy more Ford if the price hits $7.53. We also have a buy set to buy more Zoom video communications if the price hits $56.34. And we have a buy order on Vizio to buy more Vizio if the price hits $4.53. So if you're following along with us, whatever dollar increment you purchase with to begin with, that's the dollar increment of stock you would be buying at these levels if the price comes down. Also, we have 2 sell orders. You want to tell them about the sell orders, Gerrick?
Mm-hmm.
We have a sell order for what?
We have a sell order for
Broadcom.
if we hit $1,000 $1,000.52.
No, $1,052. So we have a sell order to sell all of our Broadcom if the price hits $1,052. And we also have a sell order to sell all of our Zoom if the price hits what?
We have a price to sell Zoom if it hits $92.
$92. Now, let me explain something. We set our sell orders up there, but oftentimes we will cancel them out and we'll sell them early. And sometimes we'll cancel our buy orders out and we'll buy them early. Many times we do that. So if you want to follow along with the moves that we make during the week, any buy or sell orders that we cancel out and any buys or sells that we execute, you'll want to join our Facebook group. Again, it's called Trading with G, and there's a link in the description of this video. So Gerrick, we're going to talk about two stocks, and then we may do some analysis on some of the other stocks that we have. I'll let you kind of pick on those, which ones you want to take a look at. But right now, for the most part, guys, we're just enjoying our ride. We're enjoying the ride back up. So as they go up, we're just looking to knock down our profit and close out our trades for profit so that we can do it all over again and we can scale into our trades again. And then when they go back up, we knock them down for profit and just do it over and over again. It's really that simple. So the one stock I want to talk about on this list, if you're new and you're joining us, you don't have to worry about this stock because you're not going to buy this stock. But if you've been following us and you also own the stock, I want to talk about WeWork. WeWork. Why? Because we didn't get the greatest news with WeWork. WeWork is down almost 63% on the month. In fact, if we look at the news on WeWork, what's that say, Gerrick?
WeWork bankruptcy likely to come sooner than later, says Credit Safe.
WeWork bankruptcy likely to come sooner than later. What's this headline say?
WeWork plans to file or bankruptcy over massive debt pile and losses.
WeWork plans to file for bankruptcy over a massive debt pile and losses. So WeWork is expected to file bankruptcy. Now, I want to explain something.
WeWork's not on the board.
It's not. We can't buy any more WeWork. But I want to explain something. I made a mistake on WeWork. And there's times in our life where we make mistakes and we got to own up to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I make a mistake? Because I called WeWork right and it blasted up the chart one day. And I could have closed WeWork. We could have closed WeWork for a 30% profit. But we got greedy because we thought for sure it was going to come back down, hit support, and bounce up even higher. And you know what? It didn't do that. It didn't go in our favor. So we don't have that large of a position. We have a very small position in WeWork. We've only got $10.45 invested in it. What we're going to do, we're just going to hold WeWork. The one good thing is, yes, they are looking to file bankruptcy, but there's two different types of bankruptcy. There's several different types of bankruptcy you can file. One is where you just go out of business. Two is where you restructure and you have a chance to get it right. So WeWork is filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is the one where you restructure and have a chance to get it right. So there's still a chance for WeWork. We're just going to hold it. We're going to let WeWork do its thing. If it does crash down, maybe 50 more percent, maybe if it comes down to around 30, 40 cents, it's at 84 cents now. we may look to buy more on another platform. We may look to buy just an equal dollar amount of what we have total in the trade. So the general rule is that for us, if for some reason a stock just completely crashes all the way down and it's worth 10% of what we bought it for, we would take all the volume that we have in the stock and we would look to buy more there. Well, if we have $10.45, 10% of that would be about $1. So it would have to be worth about $1. And right now it's worth $1.99. So we're just going to leave it there. Hey, they could restructure, they could get it right. And you know what? WeWork could climb all the way back up here eventually to around $40. That's a possibility. It's not going to happen overnight, but you know what? We have such a small position in there. We might as well leave it there. Let it do its thing. It's going to do whatever it does and not stress about it. But if it does tank way down there, we may look to buy some more on another platform. As of right now, though, there's really not much to do. I mean, it's worth $1.99. We could close it out for a loss, but I really don't see any sense in doing that. We took the risk. We might as well let it play out. Don't you agree, Gerrick? We let it play out. So I just want to be clear about WeWork. You know what I should have done? I should have closed it out when we had a 30% profit on it. And I'm kicking myself right now. And that's an important lesson to learn. One, you don't want to be greedy. Don't be too greedy. And two, what's the other lesson? When you make a mistake, you do what?
You
own it.
Yeah.
You own it and you take accountability for it. So as of right now, WeWork is a mistake, but you know what? In the end,
it might go up more.
It may not be. We'll just have to wait and see. We're not going to worry about it. It's not utilizing much of our balance anyway. So we'll be just fine. The other stock that I want to look at, Gerrick, is, you know which one? Which one is it? Restaurant Brands International. Who do they own?
They own Burger King.
Burger King. And I'm going to tell you, when times get hard, people look to eat cheap. And certainly, Burger King is one of those places they can eat cheap. So Burger King thrives in a down economy or when there's a lot of chaos going on in the world. And there's certainly a lot of chaos going on in the world right now. And I was looking at WeWork, not WeWork, I was looking at Restaurant Brands International. And in the past, we bought this and sold it for a profit, right, Gerrick? Let's see what we've done in the past. So in the past, we have bought Restaurant Brands International. We bought it this summer. We bought it for $9 and we sold it for $9.92. We made about 10% on Restaurant Brands International. And if we look at where we sold it, look at where we sold it. We sold it for $76.68. We'll take a look at where it is now. If we look at where it is now, it's at $67.80. It's a lot lower than where we bought it. And guess what? I see this coming back up right now to probably right in here at around 72 to $75. I think it safely comes up in that range. And you know what? We has a chance that it could take off. It could shoot up out of there and it could go on to create new all-time highs. That's a possibility too. There's also the possibility we see Restaurant Brands International come down to Do you see right here on the year chart, Gerrick?
Mm-hmm.
Where didn't it come back to yet?
It
You
had
see
it
this,
came back to
the
this
spike,
peak.
this spike right here. See this little peak right here?
Uh-huh.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
I also like it there at 64.51. So I think what we do is we buy some where it is now, and then we also set a buy order down there at 64.51. See, every peak has to come back and hit the previous peak. That's just the way the sine wave behaves. Now, does it go up before it comes back down? That remains to be seen. But we know if this goes up, this is probably going up here between $72 to $75. And if it goes down, it's probably going to around 64.51. That looks like really good support there if it does come down. So we're going to look to buy Restaurant Brands International, buy some now, and also set a buy order for an equal dollar amount as what we buy now down there at $64.51. Does that sound like a plan?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got to figure out what we're going to purchase of this. I'm going to tell you something. I realized I went back and I calculated I owe you $20. I owe you for last week's episode, and I also missed a week in October. I went back and I looked at it. Something seemed off, and I missed paying you a week. So you have $20 that's being added, plus you have this week's episode,
So I'll get $30.
another $10. So you have $30 coming to you. But let's just look at this as $42. Let's look at this as the $22 that you should have right now. So 42 plus on the buy orders. If we look at what you have on buy orders, let's see, you have 13 plus 9 is 22 plus 1120 is 33. So 33.
Let's calculate.
So 33 plus 42 is what?
33 plus 42 is 75.
75. Okay. So you have 75 in your available balance. Let's take 9% of 75. What is that? So let's get out the calculator. And if we punch this in the calculator, we take 75 times 0.09. Remember, that's 9%, right? We moved the decimal over 2 times. And what does that equal?
6.75.
$6.75, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to buy Restaurant Brands International now, where it is now. And one thing too, I want to show you guys on Restaurant Brands International. Almost the whole market rallied this week. Restaurant Brands International was up. It was up 1.74%, but it wasn't even up anywhere near what much of the rest of the market was up. So I think that this has room to rumble to the upside. That's another thing that I like about Restaurant Brands International. So go ahead and hit the buy button.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to punch in, we're going to buy it now, $6.75, right? $75. And hit OK.
Schedule.
All right. We're going to make sure it is scheduled. So on Monday morning, when the market opens,
we'll have Restaurant Brands International.
Restaurant Brands International is scheduled to buy at approximately $67.81. And if we look at where it is right now, it's at $67.80. So right about where it is now. That's a good thing. The other thing is we're also going to set another buy order down there at 64.51. Okay, 64.51. So go ahead and hit buy. Now, to set an order, we're going to change our order type. So we're going to go change order type. We're going to go to custom purchase order. And we're going to click this calculator looking icon in the upper right-hand corner. And we're going to punch in what price?
65.
64.51. 64.51. And we're buying how much worth?
We're buying about 70. No.
We're buying, what did we just buy?
$6.75.
$6.75. So we're buying this in $6.75 increments. So 6.75. Okay. Hit next. We're going to set it for 90 days.
We can always cancel it.
We can always cancel it early. Did you set it for 90 days?
Yeah.
Okay. And says done. So let's make sure it got it and it's right there. We're going to buy more Restaurant Brands International if the price hits $64.51, in addition to what we're buying first thing Monday morning. Now, let me explain something. If what we're buying on Monday goes up and we're able to close it for profit, we're going to take our profit and be happy. But if it comes down, we're just going to look to scale more money into the market. And now, instead of having $6.75 in the stock, we now have $13.50 that we have working for us. So it can go either way. Really doesn't matter to us. But Monday morning, we're going to own Restaurant Brands International, who owns what? Who do they own?
Burger King.
Burger King. Gerrick, what other stocks do you want to analyze?
I want to analyze.
What other stocks do you want to look at? All of them look pretty good. I mean, we're going up with the exception of WeWork, of course. But
Ford Motor.
All the other ones are looking good. Ford Motor, it was up 4.14% on Friday. It was up over 4% on the week. Now, it's still down on the month. Right now, we're down about 14.5% on Ford Motor Company. But we have that buy set. If it does come down there to around $7.53, if it came down to the top of this spike right here, we talked about if it comes down here to around 8.75 and it just kind of slows up and starts going sideways, we may look to buy some there. But it may go back up. It looks certainly like it's coming back up. It may not come down there. And that's fine. If it wants to go into profit, it can go into profit. Where are we looking to sell this at, Gerrick?
We're looking to sell this at
probably up here around $14, right?
Uh-huh.
At the bottom of this spike. Now, if it for some reason really rallied and it just blew past that point and flew up even more, we would look where the next sell point is on up. But as of right now, we're looking to get out around $14. It is going to be challenged here. See the bottom of these valleys right here, around 10.95, 11.18, 11.25. It's going to be challenged there around $11, and it may get pushed back down. If it does, we're just looking to pick more up around $7.53 to $8.75, somewhere in that range. If it goes up and it goes into profit, we're looking to get out around $14. Our cost average on this is $12.35. So if it goes up there to $14, we're going to end up making around over 10%, right? Our cost average is $12.35, so that would be $1.20. Yeah, we would make well over 10% if it goes up there to around $14. So we're just going to let it play out. We're going to see what Ford does, but we're looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any others you want to look at?
Vizio.
Vizio? Vizio has an earnings report coming out here pretty quick. If we look, they have a report coming out next week.
Mm-hmm.
What is an earnings report? Every quarter, every 3 months, stocks have to report their financials. So it gives us a chance to see if they're making profit, if they're losing money, if they're growing to expectations. It lets us see all sorts of things. And Vizio is reporting their earnings next week. So we should see a lot of activity on Vizio. Right now, we're down almost 15% on Vizio, and that's fine. We look really, really good in Vizio. We scaled into Vizio all the way down. We bought here, we bought again down here. I think we bought this, what? 3 times. We bought here, we bought here, we bought here. So our cost average is $6.56. And right now it's at $5.58. Where do we think this can go? Man, I'll tell you what, with Christmas coming up, Vizio, what do? They make TVs.
Mm-hmm.
They make TVs. So we certainly will probably see a rally there as well. But if Vizio tips the scales and it reports some really good earnings, because if you look at it, it's just starting to be profitable as a company. So if it reports some really good earnings, man, we could see Vizio come all the way up here to around $17. And it's at $5 now. We could see it go up 300%. That's a possibility. But with the market not being the greatest, or the overall economy not being the greatest, and especially with the wars going on in the world and all the turmoil, I think it's going to be a real challenge for it to get up there. But we could certainly see this come back up. Do you see the bottom of these spikes right here, these valleys? Around 8.52. This one here is around $7. So I definitely think we could see it go up there to at least $7. And if we look, the bottom of this spike right here, right around $7, that looks really good. We could even see it come up here to around $9. We could even see it come up here to around $9. So right in this area, the bottom of this valley to the bottom of this valley, somewhere around the $7 to $9 range looks good to sell Vizio. And I think we're going to see that come up here, maybe this week, definitely probably in the coming weeks. So we should be able to make a nice profit on Vizio. So Gerrick, do you think that's good? You think we covered the bases this episode?
Yeah.
We've got other stocks, but they're all looking good. There's not much left to do at this point than just sit back and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride back up, because it looks like it could be a fun one. So Gerrick, I think that's a wrap for this week. What do you think?
I think
You think it is?
uh-huh.
You know, it certainly bottoms up. What a week. What a difference a week makes. I mean, that was a turnaround from no tomorrow this week. In fact, this was the biggest rally. This week was the biggest rally all year. That's how big this rally has been. And, you know, stocks have been beaten down. They've been way down there. As you can see, you know, we've managed the ride. We've got a ways to go, but guess what? So does everyone else as well. They all have a ways to go. And I think we're going to get that climb. We're going to get that ride back up in the coming week or so. I think next week's looking really good. We already closed one out for profit, Roblox, right? What'll be the next one?
I
What'll be
think
the next one?
will be
Vizio?
no. I think it'll be I think it will be Purple Innovation.
I don't think it's going to be Purple Innovation. We're down quite a bit. We already closed one out for profit. We'll have to see what the next one is going to be. So more to come. I'm just really happy that we're able to have what? Bottoms up, right?
Yeah.
So Gerrick, before we go, we got to remind them to do bottoms up. So Gerrick, before we go, we got to remind them to do one thing. What is it? And subscribe to our channel. Oh. Well, this is Dwayne
And Gerrick.
reminding you, manage the ride.
And you will master the time.
Until next time, bye now.
Bye.